T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How
are you?
Welcome to Lunchin with Lisa. This is the second episode of Lunchin with Lisa, and I am continuing with the fabulous guests. So I'm going to actually introduce all of my guests first, and then we're going to get into the conversation. But before I do that, I wanted to first welcome everybody, encourage you all to like and share the show, like and share the page, and tune in and tell your family and friends to tune in because they don't want to miss this information and these wonderful businesses that are on. I also wanted to remind everybody that all month long, I am celebrating National Black Business Month because August is National Black Business Month. So all month long, that's what's happening. But in addition to that, I wanted to have a little just because shout out. And this is something I'm probably going to add when I remember to do it to the show. But there was a young lady that was advertising that she had just done a book recently. So last week I supported by buying the book because randomly I would try to support people whenever I can. I can't catch everybody, but I really try to support whenever I can. And this young lady, her name was, and I'm going to show you her book, and I just want to do a shout out to her. But the name of her book is Without Purpose, I Have No Peace. And her name is Jania Shaw. So I wanted to actually do a shout out to her and encourage you all to go out and support this young lady and buying her book. I reached out to her mom and told her that I was going to do this. It just was laid on my heart to do this for today, just because I also wanted to give you a little background on her. She is a native of DC, and she's been writing poetry on and off since the age of 12, I believe. And during this pandemic, she kind of fell in love with writing again. And since I am a writing buff, I wanted to just shout her out. What she feels like is if you've ever felt lost, don't know what to do with your life, lacking purpose, it's sometimes hard trying to figure out where to belong and and with that comes lots of different emotions. So sometimes it feels like all hope is lost, and then other times it feels like you're on the right track. But one thing you do is never give up. So that's Jania Shaw's message, and please go out and get her book. So I wanted to show you. And I want to just do a shout out to her. So congratulations to her. She had a book signing yesterday. Her mom and dad supported her. But thanks again for putting this out for people, and keep doing what you're doing. So that was my little just because moment. And randomly I'll do that, but it just kind of hit me. So there you have it. So what I want to do is first introduce all of my guests. And then we're going to talk about, and I kind of titled this show, Our Youth Are Our Business. And that can be, you can mean that in several ways. With these ladies, our youth are our business. Yes, they are all our business. And on top of that, their business is about youth. So let me start off with Maria Thorpe. If you could just wave your hand and let them know who you are. Maria Thorpe is a real estate agent, business owner, speaker, mentor, and co-author who believes in giving back. She has mentored numerous students and professionals in science, technology, engineering, and math, which is STEM. I love STEM. She is also the co-owner of Waldorf Chess Club Incorporated, which she founded with her husband. She works with kids as young as 5 years old, teaching them how to find their inner strength through the game of chess. She is a native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She's a wife and a mom, and we are pleased to welcome Maria to Luncheon with Lisa. So welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Yes, we also have Sharon Parker. Sharon Parker, wave your hand. Sharon is a native of Calvert County, Maryland, and loves working with the next generation and professionals to empower them to tap into their leadership skills and project management skills. Sharon is known as the Leading Within strategist, and her platform is called Leading Within through Project Management on numerous professional platforms. Sharon is the author of True Synergy Works, Leading Within, 7 Defining Principles of Knowing Self to Birth Greatness. And she wrote that in 2017. Sharon is a community servant, activist, and serves as president of the Maryland Association of American Mothers, Inc., as well as ROSA, which is Remembering Our Ancestors Synergistic Association, Inc. Please welcome Sharon to Luncheon with Lisa.
Hello.
And we also have Cynthia Moore. Wave your hand. She was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and a product of D.C. public schools, including the wonderful H.D. Woodson Senior High School, my warrior sister. So I hope the warriors are representing tonight. She has depended on her faith in God, the commitment of her mentor, who always encouraged her greatly to use her gifts and talents that were so evident to many. These gifts and talents being teaching and freely connecting with others, her ability to see the potential and gifts and talents in others has enhanced the lives of many youth and adults. Cynthia is a mom of 5, a wife of 29 years to Anthony Moore, who is also a H.D. Woodson warrior. And Anthony is currently a concert and stage band director at the DeKalb County Schools of Arts in Avondale, Georgia. In 2003, they founded More Arts Movement Theater Company, Inc., the Big Dreams Project. And she is, as she's not only a mother to 5, I actually, from watching Cynthia move through the community, she actually has adopted many in her heart. So please welcome Mrs. Moore to Luncheon with Lisa.
Welcome.
And we also, not last but not least, we have, actually, I'm going to give you a little background. This is Chocolate Cupcake. Now, a little background on Chocolate Cupcake is that the very first issue of Dove Style magazine, which is my magazine that I have, Chocolate Cupcake was in there. And look, I had to do a little something, technology. Okay. So Chocolate Cupcake was actually in my very first issue of Dove Style magazine. And I am happy that I actually have one of the 4 ladies who are actually heading up Chocolate Cupcake. I'm going to give you a little background. The strength of the Chocolate Cupcake brand emanates from its authentic and passionate and capable team with experience across many disciplines. Inspired by its founders, Cheryl Reed and Melissa Monroe, Chocolate Cupcake was born of a desire to provide alternative images for their young daughters and other girls of color, encouraging them to celebrate and enhance their uniqueness. And they follow 5 core values that guide the brand. And Sharon is going to definitely like this number. She is the power of 5 means everything to Sharon, so she's going to love this. But they're called the 5C living. It's the 5C living concept. It's character, compassion, confidence, courage, and creativity. So I wanted to give you a little background. We have Alicia Long. Wave your hand. We're going to give a background of her, and then I'm going to share the other 3 ladies, a little background on them, and then we're going to start talking. But she is a media company executive and communications attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. She has extensive experience providing counsel on products, initiatives, and practices with FCCC regulatory implications and supports business strategy and policy development. And then we have Melissa Monroe, who is a business leader with keen vision and talent for sales, products, and people development. She's a graduate of the University of Maryland, and Melissa is excited to move Chocolate Cupcake to the very next level. We have Linda Lee Osborne, who's also a member of the Chocolate Cupcake team, and she's an educator at her core, having taught students from elementary to college. As an applied psychologist and human factors engineer with a passion for people, technology, and human-computer interaction, she has focused her work on helping businesses, clients, and universities improve their customer service and experience by increasing empathy for the user throughout the product design and development. And then there's Athena Hernandez, who is a communications professional in Washington, D.C. With more than 2 decades of experience. Her career spans from public relations, journalism, television production, media relations, and crisis communications. She's designed and implemented communications efforts on behalf of children, WEDA Public TV, and Prince George's County school system. She's also a graduate of University of Maryland, and she also has a master's in fine arts in writing for children and young adults from Vermont College of Fine Arts. So I wanted to welcome everybody to Luncheon with Lisa. And look, that was a whole lot. So y'all, if y'all missed this show, y'all are missing a lot of knowledge and talent and love of children. So please continue to share this show. And I want to get into a discussion because our youth are our business in more ways than one. And you all have actually made it your business to support and encourage our youth and are still doing it. So I wanted to actually pose a question to everybody in no particular order, but I wanted to ask you, what motivated you when you started your business? What was the motivation that made you want it to be inclusive of children? Because some people have businesses and it's not really related to kids, but you all were specific in your passion, and it was about kids. So tell me about how that became, what motivated you there. Let's start with Maria.
Okay, well, thank you, Lisa, for the question. My husband has been playing chess since he was 8 years old. And when I met him, we began to play. We taught our 2 sons how to play chess. And he always wanted to have a place where he could just go play chess. We taught chess in our local schools, but we wanted to have that special place where we could get the children as young as 5 and teach them about the game of chess and teach them a way of life through the game of chess. And so it was just something we saw as necessary because in some of our engagements with children in the schools, we found children that had lacked self-confidence. They didn't believe in themselves. And we found that chess helps to fill that void. And it gives the children just such a great opportunity to see themselves progress, see themselves grow, to learn how to think strategically and how to put a plan together. And the light that goes on when they learn this game, when they make that first move, when they see that first checkmate, it allows them to see that they can do it and that there's no one else in their lives that will be able to tell them that they can't do something. So that's why we began the game, to teach children.
Well, it has to mean something to be able to, because look, they would have something on me because I don't know how to play chess.
Yeah.
After you put the checkerboard down, I am totally lost. But it has to mean something special to know that you have a craft or skill that not everybody has.
Yeah.
And it puts them in a position where they can actually teach, their moms or their dads how to do something, which kind of flips the script in a good way. So I like that. So, Cynthia, tell me a little bit about how you've been around and involved with children for a long time. So I kind of know, but share with them what your motivation was.
Well, actually, thank you, first of all, for having me and all these beautiful ladies. I'm just honored to be amongst the number tonight. I just, I started in the performing arts and theater back really when I was a little girl in church. And my mom was my first teacher. She was amazing in really instilling a lot of self-esteem and in me, and I was never afraid to speak in public, and because of her. So she was my first drama teacher. That's what I always say. I give her credit for that. But as I got older and I went to high school, moving on through high school, I met the very talented Grace Bradford, who was a mentor to many during that time. And she took me under her wing, and she just brought out so much in me that I did not even realize I had. So what I do today really models a lot of what she taught me like 40 years ago. And I added with, what's going on today with a little tradition. And I was just motivated because the arts really help to save God. I believe God used the arts to help save my life, because many times I could have made other choices to do other things, and the arts just kept me strong. And my first amazing experience was during the summer youth employment, about SYEP. And they handpicked a group of students from across Washington, D.C. to participate in a creative music experience theater when I was 18 years old that summer. And that summer really, really changed my life. And I've been moving forward in that vein, and I haven't looked back.
That just sounds like a perfect indication of pay, or how you pay it forward. Because you're just passing on what was given to you, and it meant that much to you that now you're that same person for a lot of other children. So Sharon, tell us a little bit about how you, in a lot of ways.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for having me. And, I'm a true introvert, but when we talk about young people, I just light up and smile. I get all into it because I just love it. So you're going to see a different side of me tonight. I'm not that serious person talking to professionals. We're talking about young people, so this excites me. So first of all, Lisa, God, you know a little bit about my background. For you all, welcome, welcome, welcome. But Lisa mentioned earlier about the power of 5. And how much I love the power of 5, because to me it represents grace and it represents power from God. So what motivated me to want to work with young people, because I was once, of course, like we all were, 5 years old. And I got this story that I wrote about in my book, and it's a true story. It's a 1968 civil rights story about me being 5 years old, playing on my church ground in Calvert County, Maryland, where I'm from. And I just asked God a simple question about why is it that Black people were treated so badly? And, 40 decades later, I'm in my 40s. 4 decades later, not 40, 4 decades later, I'm in my 40s. And this organization came to mind with a couple of friends of mine. And it's all geared around history. So if to know me, you got to know that I love African American history and culture, but I'm a very, very diverse person, and I love working with everyone. So we started this organization called Rosa. And you all know when you're running an organization, they want to see that you have programs in your organization. They want to know that you're working with adults, you're working with young people, you're connecting them together, but you're conforming to your mission. Well, my mission was educating the community about how important it was to never forget your history. It was about educating the next generation about, remember when you were 5 years old, and remember some things that you may want to do in life, but you never had an opportunity to be exposed to the right people, get into the community, be able to work with people who can help you along the way. So in 2012, I started a program called the Rosa Youth Empowerment Series. And I don't want to tell it all right now, but that program did exactly what one of the ladies just spoke on. It was a summer youth employment program. We were able to go to the Condoza Educational Campus, the National Congress of Black Women, Calvert High School, Crossland High School, and we connect those young people that were in the summer program with professionals. And we kind of had them follow in their lead. So in a nutshell, my passion was getting people to understand that God is always behind us in what everything we do. And if we think about our past, it could identify who we are to be in the future. And I drove that effort through my initiative, and I teach the next generation about that as well.
Absolutely. And history, that's why I like this is synergy right here.
Yes.
Because we're talking about mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
And you're talking about the mind, you're talking about the physical with the arts and just your creative energy. And then the history is, our foundation. And now we're going to go to Ms. Long and share with us about chocolate cupcake and tell everybody what that's about, because it kind of brings everything in.
Well, thank you, first of all, Lisa, for having me on to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is chocolate cupcake. And thank you for being an early and continual supporter of chocolate cupcake. Once you kind of get the experience of chocolate cupcake, is hard to let it go.
It
And
is.
I'll tell you where we all started this. Chocolate cupcake started very organically, authentically with our founder, Melissa Monroe, and one of our mutual friends who was also a founder, Cheryl Reed, going to what was going to be their last Hannah Montana birthday party for their girls, where they were going to put on a blonde wig. And they sat down after that party and said, why can't there be images, girls of color out there for our girls to model? And then they went to work. And they went to some funny places trying to come up with the concept of the girls, took them to some tattoo parlors, trying to find some artists, so shall we say Video Vixen was kind of the iteration that they got from the tattoo parlor. But they finally arrived at the perfect images for these girls. And this is what the chocolate cupcake girls look like.
Yeah.
And they are all very different. They are, one is representative of kind of the athletic type. There's Cecilia, the artsy type, Zora, the bookworm type, Jazz, the fashionista, and Joy, who is the Miss Prince. And basically these girls represent kind of our girls, real life girls who are fabulous being themselves, and, who they don't need to be superheroes. They don't need superpowers. They don't need to turn into a frog. These are just, straight, real life girls living their best lives through their 5C living that Lisa talked about. And they're fabulous in their authentic selves. So that's what kind of bred chocolate cupcake. And we unfortunately lost one of our founders, Cheryl, in 2009, way too early, 41 years old. And Melissa did not want to let this go. And so that's where she came to me and Linda, who is, I saw Maria, you sounded like you had a compadre in STEM when you described Linda, and Athena. We all came together. We were not friends with each other necessarily, but we were in a friend circle. And, we came together to bring chocolate cupcake to life. I am a mom of boys, and so is Linda. So, in addition to it being kind of fun to get in on the action with something that was about girls, one of the aha moments we had, kind of dragging our boys into the midst of all of this and development of chocolate cupcake, is that, the boys were interested. And I think the aha moment for us is that there's nothing our boys need more than girls with self-esteem. If we can do that for our boys, that they are interacting with girls that are confident, courageous, creative, compassionate, that brings it all together for our community. And that's kind of how Chocolate Cupcake started. That's what motivates us. We started out with focus groups here in Atlanta. We took the Chocolate Cupcake experience on the road to Charlotte, where we had a museum full of kids and moms and dads, experiencing what Chocolate Cupcake was about. We went to Maryland, a public school in Maryland. We went to LA, so it's really been just kind of organically grown concept. And we then decided, hey, we need to take this on the road some more. We started the 5K Chocolate Cupcake Run here in Atlanta. We have done, I think it's 6 years, where starting at Grant Park here in Atlanta. We've had these 5K runs that started small and ended, we're like at 1,000 people of little girls running with their moms, dads, the boys running, everybody. It's a family affair.
Right.
And then we decided, these girls need a voice, and we desperately wanted to give them a voice. And that's where our books came about. And now we're kind of ready to take it to the next level for these girls to move. We want them to be in all their glory through animation. So that's kind of what we've got our eye on next.
And I can't wait. So I have, like you said, the first time that you all, years ago, when I saw the chocolate cupcakes, I was in love with them. All of them. I love the different personalities and the fact that they all, still shined in their own way, but they still were, kind of their little group, and supported each other. And she didn't mention that they have their own song. So they do have a song for download, and the animation, and that's how they were introduced to me, was kind of the pictures of them as animation or characters. And then they actually were brought to life as little girls. You kind of got to see young ladies who kind of looked like the character. So this is just kind of like, I believe in what they're doing too, with the young ladies, and hopefully maybe they'll circle back around and do something with the guys. But I think this is powerful, and everything you all are doing to touch these young people's lives. Like Celicia was saying, everything you think about it, sometimes you remember the things that you did as a child and who was there and who pushed you through, and those are the things that we remember. It's rare that we remember things that we remember things as a child. So that's why it's important for us to be a part of their lives in a positive way while they're children, because they really do take that with them. So bad experiences and good experiences, they embrace it all. And I love what you all are doing. And I wanted to know what else do you have? I know with the chess, I want to get in on the chess thing, because I think I waited too long. I think I learned everything but chess because it was intimidating to me, I believe. So I was like, oh, I'll get to it. But what things are you all doing? Like Maria has competitions and things like that really get these kids not only learning strategy, but also learning positive competition. And then with the arts, and Celicia hasn't shared yet, but she's working on short film. She also does distant learning with these children, so she's teaching them in all areas. And that's what I like about you all. It's like not just one area, it's all areas. So tell me a little bit about what you all have coming up with, what's going on with your businesses involving the youth, and some things that you're doing outside of youth, like with the short film. I'm not sure if children are involved, but it is dealing with what's happening in the world today. So share a little bit about that. I think you're on mute.
Sorry, how unprofessional. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
I was just joking. But the short film, we are just so excited about this project. The Big Dreams Project, we had our last on stage production on March 12th, Saturday. If you think back to that weekend, that was the weekend before everything shut down. And we were like, okay, are we going to go through with the production? Because the children had prepared for it. It was our women's history production. And, you know, anyone who's seen our productions, we put on these elaborate professional productions where the children just go through all this training, costume, everything. And so we had to decide if we were going to move forward with the production that weekend, and we did. So that was our last on stage production. When that was over, we were like, okay, what are we going to do now? We can't meet in groups. We can't have audiences. So we started virtual classes in performing arts. And, you know, after a lot of prayer, it was like, okay, how we going to do this? How we going to teach acting? How we're going to teach dance? How we're going to teach? And we took on the project of teaching virtually. And I tell you, I don't mean to just sound like it's the best thing since sliced bread, but I'd rather much be in person because I'm a touchy person. I'm a huggy person. But I'm telling you, virtual teaching has just opened up a whole new world for me. And it's opened up a whole new world for my students. You know, it really showed them how they can adapt and adjust to this ever-changing world that we're living in. And it challenged me to really keep my energy up, get up in the morning, you know, get online, teach those classes. So I'm up and I'm hyped every morning, and the students are like, come on, Miss Moore, the first week, you know, after the first week. And I told my husband, to be honest, after the first 2 weeks, I was like, I don't know. But after the third week, I was just hungry to teach. I had this hunger, and I noticed that my students were signing in before I was signing in. And I was always on time. So I started out with about 10 to 12 students, and then I had a contract with the school in Maryland to teach up to 22 students at one time. And we did that. So what we decided to do was a short film for each group. Now, this is a series where we would meet in person and physical distance and shoot everything that they were learning online.
Wow.
And with my children in Georgia, I was able to meet them like every 2 weeks. We had a location where we would meet, and I hired a film director. We raised money. A lot of you all on Facebook, you know, you gave to that project that enabled us to really just get costumes, and we were able to throw a big Juneteenth celebration for the children. And social distance. We were there in person with masks, you know, balloons, food, and our film director was there. So right now I just left DC last week and met with the school in Maryland. I taught them for 4 weeks virtually, and we filmed them also. So we have 2 short films coming out, 2 short films with almost 30 young people. This is just
awesome.
Yes.
And one of the short films is titled Coping with Quarantine from Pandemic to Protest.
Okay.
Wow, awesome.
And the second one is Coping with Quarantine, Excel with Big Dreams.
Wow.
And there's a purpose behind that second one, Excel, because the name of the school was Excel, and we're the Big Dreams Project. So the students came up with that second subtitle, Excel with Big Dreams. So we're revamping our website and everything. You are going to be able to go to our website and pay-per-view to support these projects, these film projects. So you'll be able to view our short films. And because we can't meet at the theater, you know, God just gave this to me and he put it in my spirit, in my heart. I get a lot of stuff in the morning when I first wake up before my feet even hit the floor.
Yeah.
And this has been one of the most phenomenal projects I have ever worked on. And now both films are on the editing table. So
Love it.
this
Love it.
fall, the Big Dreams Project and the Coping with Quarantine series is coming out. There's a Black history in it. There's the students talking about, you know, what they actually did to cope during this time, how they got through it. And one of the students just thrilled my heart when she said, I can't wait to go back to school when they ask me what I've been doing since quarantine started. I tell them that I made a movie.
That's right.
So excited. I could have cried and screamed and hollered. So
that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. And
yes,
the reason I like what you all are doing is because I know a lot of people have been depressed or trying to figure out what is it that we're going to do during this time. And you are, after, you know, taking that moment to think about it, you're able to share with other people, look, it's not over. We still moving. We just got to figure out another way to maneuver through this. And you all are doing that. I love every minute. So when we get to the end of the show, I'm definitely going to make sure people know what you're doing, how to reach you, and how to support you, because that's one thing that we also have to continue to do is support each other's dreams and help make this happen. We're all trying to get through this together. And you're doing some of, I didn't even know all of that. I knew some of it. So I'm excited. Y'all know I celebrate everything. I'm excited for all of it. So Maria, what are you doing? Because I know you mentioned something about going virtual with teaching chess.
Yes, we
so
did.
You had to adjust too.
Yes, absolutely. You know, just listening to Celenta and her story, we had the same type of experience, because one of the benefits that we said we promoted at the Waldorf Chess Club was the availability of a family-friendly environment to play, study, and learn chess with others. So now what are we going to do? So we sat back, my husband and I, we thought about it, and we said, we've got to go virtual. And so our first step was to do Facebook Live. We created a Facebook group and we brought the current members into the group and we did live Facebook classes. But then as we thought about it, we wanted to even get more in depth with reaching out to our students, because it was a lot of, you know, interaction with each student, solving problems directly. So we went to a Zoom format where we could actually have each one of them in the room. They could ask questions. We were able to transport our chess story on top of the screen so they could be engaged while we were doing the chess. So it, as we say, is so phenomenal. The kids are so engaged. It's just moving forward. And some of the things we're doing, because I don't know if many of you knew, this was our 5th year anniversary, sharing 5. And we had some fantastic things planned. We were having an open house. We were bringing in grandmasters. We were having a carnival. We were doing all these things, and we were bringing chess to the entire community because we had people coming in from all of the counties. So now we are revamping that. We're going to more individual classes. We were on track to get into the schools. We were already doing tournaments with the school, but we had the local county schools wanting us to teach their school programs. So now we're trying to figure out how virtually we can do that. And we've set up a sample class that we're going to do with the children. It's going to be a part of their school day while they're home. They're going to have a chess diversion. And what I'm really excited about, we've had so many parents come back to us and say that since their kids have been learning chess and playing and coming to the Waldorf Chess Club, they saw an increase in their grades and their learning and their ability to do things like math and science. And so all of this that we do, as Lisa mentioned at the beginning, it's a part of STEM, because I know people don't realize it, but math, science, music, it all goes together. So we are exposing the kids to these things, and now we're doing it virtually. So we're hopeful to get it across the board again. I'm looking at some engineering technologies to create an environment where we can play across the board. I have a patented idea in my head and that I'm working on, but we've got to get the kids back to playing across the board, because that's where that confidence comes in.
Right.
And so we're getting ready to do an on the board tournament. I've been working with some of the because we teach United States Chess Federated learning, so they can play across the country with any student in the world. And so I'm about to set some tournaments online with those type of environments. So we got a lot planned.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be in the beginners class for sure. Because they will probably beat the pants off of me. So, but I'm gonna start at the very beginning, and if it has to start with redoing checkers, and that's what we'll do. But I love it. I love what you all are doing. Alicia, tell us a little bit about, because chocolate cupcake is going to be growing, hopefully, and will be all over the place. And you all can do so many things with these young ladies. And actually, the synergy right here on this show, you all have touched on everything that these young ladies, in the chocolate cupcake can be, will be, have been. So I'm hoping that you all will connect even after this, because this is like great minds thinking for our children. This is wonderful. What do you all have planned? I get excited talking to Sharon. I get excited talking about the kids too, because they're our future. And if we can't get excited about we can't get excited about them, how are they going to get excited about what's ahead? So what do you have planned, Alicia?
Yeah, so for sure, this has been just mind blowing, and I have so many ideas just from this experience. So just taking it all in, I will tell you, chocolate cupcake. There's a generation of chocolate cupcakes that are out there. We started in 2009 with this concept. I see pictures of little chocolate cupcakes squeezing into their t-shirts with their mom saying, "Look what Brianna pulled out." So the concept still sticks today. This book, Joy to the Swirl, like I said, we had so many stories in us for these girls. And you mentioned, you hope they're boys. There are so many characters in this book. And really, the book is our kind of first chapter book that really explains the story of how these girls came together. But they have so many different aspects of their own lives that they bring to their experience. So there are characters galore in the book that can be extended into our next series. Our goal is to have like a series of books from here, not kind of jumping off of our chapter book. These girls have families. You see a lot of the shows that are targeted to kids. For some reason, you don't see their families in a lot of these shows. You're like, what, are they raising themselves? So we want to show kind of the whole of these children and their lives, the siblings in their lives, the different interactions that they have. This group. The girls are bound together by their interest in music. And so Lisa mentioned the song, so that song was created called Swirl, because that's the name of the band that the girls are in. So Joy to the Swirl, our chapter book, talks about how Joy, the Miss Priss character, came into the group as kind of the last part of their group. And the chapter book ends where all the next stories begin that focus on the different girls and their interactions. So we definitely have more books in us. But like I said, it's time for these girls to move. And we want these girls to be fully animated in their full glory. And that's where kind of we're taking it to the next level with Chocolate Cupcake. I mean, they have music around it. It's an entire lifestyle brand. So it's not a one-trick pony. They've got the music around them. They've got the voices, they're diverse voices. And this is the time for our voices to be heard, for diverse voices to be heard. So we think the time is right to kind of bring it to the next generation of chocolate cupcakes. And, and that's where we're headed.
Well, and I'll segment it to Sharon, because I like the fact that it's not just these talents and gifts, but it's like the art of friendship. Yes. And what I always kind of noticed is that we've kind of lost that old school friendship where you actually grew up with people, you knew people from when you were 5 that are still in your life at 50. And I think we got away from that. The generation, like my daughter's generation, they don't stay connected like we used to. And this is an opportunity for those girls, I can see, because they've been around. And so that's why so many stories there, because they've been around for a while. They're growing up together, and to lead into Sharon and telling us what you're doing, because that's history right there. Yes, so they've already have a history created for themselves, and you all are still moving. So I love it. Sharon, what are you working on forward?
Well, I just got to say, guys, I'm just at awe right now. Just hearing what you've been doing for young people in the community, and talk about the synergy. Lisa keeps on mentioning it. I mean, this is really true synergy here. And I'm gonna start with, guys. When I wrote my book, True Synergy Work, Leading Within, the 7 defining principles of knowing who you are to birth greatness. You all are doing it. And I want to share, I stay in my book. I have several books in me, but I am so glad when I wrote my book in 2017, I stuck with it. Because that same book that talked about my history as a 5-year-old allowed me to go out in the community and meet people like Lisa, meet people like, Maria, meet so many professional women and men. But I didn't stop there. My job was to connect these young people with your professionals. And how did I do that? It's been amazing. Over the last, 7 years, Lisa, we've hosted annual conferences. I mean, I don't care what it took. I was out in the community meeting people, saying, come on board, tell people who you are, tell them about your history, but most importantly, what did I want you all to do? Lisa or Maria, what did I want you all to do? I wanted you all to connect with the next generation. That was my mission. That was my focus. No matter how we were uplifting ourselves, at the end of the day, it was connecting with our next generation. And in my book, I gave it to the young people in the the Marionberry Summer Youth Program. For 3 years, we taught at the National Congress of Black Women, where the national president, Dr. Ife Williams, worked hand in hand with the young people, and they learned project management as they were helping her do her annual event. Again, this is actual, professional to youth collaboration. So we didn't know, Rosa didn't know who we were going to contact, but over the years, we created our platforms on social media, we made the outreach to the community, and then we connected the next generation. So you all are so in line with that. What we have going on now, because of, unfortunately, COVID-19, we can't get out in the community, so we're doing stuff virtually as well. I'm still teaching the Marionberry Summer Youth Program, but instead of me doing the actual tours that I was doing with the youth, I do virtual tours. I get in my car, I drive in the community, I show them a historical landmark like the National Museum on African American History and Culture, the Martin Luther King Memorial, what's over in Southwest, what's in Northwest, and what's in Southeast. A lot of youth in DC in particular, they don't really get a chance to go into different neighborhoods because of the systemic problems, but also this what they used to call when they used to separate the communities. They would have rich people in one area and the poor people in another area.
Mm-hmm.
You all know what that means. But anyway, some of these youth can get into different communities. So it's a person like me that would get in my car, drive around, and just show them information about what's going on in the community. So Lisa, over the last few months, you all know that my legacy means everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
And for you all that don't know about Calvert County, go and do some research on Calvert County. Calvert County is in the news right now because there was some racial issues down there where unfortunately, five young white boys put hate crime on the school that I graduated from. And they broke into the school, they vandalized the school, and this happened as early as this past Sunday.
Wow.
So, and I had no idea that this was still going on in Calvert County, but coming up in Calvert County, you were taught, by unfortunate people that you were less than what they are. And I've refused to believe that. So my journey, my path has been getting the next generation, getting the professionals, getting our elders to reconnect, to understand how important it is to never forget your history. It's on the tongues. Civil rights, with unfortunately the death of John Lewis passing, they're trying to get a civil rights bill now in his name. It's on the tongues of all these professionals. I'm talking singers, actors, Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama. I mean, everyone is talking civil rights today. And that's what makes it our time. So I'm just sharing that I'm working on this legacy project. And I'm continuing to teach young people how to tap into their leading within project management skills. If you ever want to lead any initiative, if you want to do a conference, if you want to be a secretary, for a large organization, or you want to be a president, or you want to, lead this effort, you need project management in your repertoire, because that's going to help you understand how to build character development, how to do team building, how to work in a leadership capacity, and most importantly, how to collaborate and bring people together. And that's what Rosa, over the years, we've been in existence for 12 years now, and we have not let up. We've been working it, getting in, knocking at those doors and saying, look, guys, you got to know your history. You got to understand what, your ancestors was up against. You got to make sure that at the end of the day, you don't repeat your history. So that's Lisa, right. Excellent platform tonight. I just love that it's about the next generation, and all of you all are doing wonderful stuff. So just kudos to you all. And I'm going to put my book in the comment too. But
please do. Yes.
I teach young people from that book because that book is history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was
Sharon is the real deal. I'll tell you, Sharon is the real deal when and she means it. When she does a conference, every year she involves the young people. And I don't mean just young people sitting in the seats. I mean that whoever comes on her team, works on her project, we are paired up with some youth, and they are to work with us as we get this conference underway. So they're learning something as they're attending. Yeah. And that's why I love what she does with the youth, because it's actually putting them to work. So you don't get to just come and watch and talk to each other and maybe listen or whatever. You actually have to be involved. They're telling people where they need to go, what time they're going up on, on the stage, or, the behind the scenes, and they're letting people know the contacts. They're putting schedules together. I absolutely love everything that you all are doing. And we need this, especially now, because it gets discouraging. And I do feel like even though, some schools are not going back to physical, that we can still keep these kids, engaged and learning. Yes. And this has just added to me another pathway to education. So if anything, once we go back to where we're able to go in class, now they actually know how it's done virtually too. So it only adds to their resume, not, depletes it. So I thank you all for actually coming on here and sharing what you do. And of course, young people they're everything right now. What we're showing them, what we're teaching them, it's going to come around. So if we're not doing the right thing by our children, history will repeat itself. So this is a time for change, and we've been given a moment where we're able to sit still for a minute and figure it out. And we haven't had this kind of opportunity. And we have to make the best of it, because sometimes we have to figure it out while we're still moving. But right now we have a really, I'm hoping that people are taking advantage of what this moment is for them. It is to do exactly what you all are doing. So I thank you all for everything that you're doing. I like to end the show on a fun note. So I wanted to share something with you all. And this is kind of my luncheon with Lisa moment, because with everything, and I mentioned this early in the show, with everything that's going on, there's always somebody lunching or tripping about something. And I wanted to remind people that I said this on the first show, that for my generation, we know what luncheon means. But for others, they might like, what is luncheon? But, back in the day when we used to say luncheon, we meant because people were doing some crazy stuff. I don't know what the kids say now, but we used to say luncheon. And no, let's clarify. I am not saying that I'm feeding people lunch. There's no food involved. You're welcome to, have a snack on the side, but I am not supplying lunch to anybody. That's not what this means. But I wanted to share with you all a couple of days. I like to actually look up like national fun days that happen during the month of August. And I shared some last week, but this week I wanted to mention to you all, especially because we were talking about the youth. If you all have Spider-Man fans, okay, among your children, whether it's your own children or other children, I want you all to know that August 1st is actually Spider-Man Day. And I didn't know if you all knew that, but you need to put that on your calendar, because the kids are missing out on a day of celebration. So make sure you tell them, and they might be able to tell you that Spider-Man Day is August 1st. I also want to mention that we did celebrate Barack Obama's birthday on August 4th. And last week, we actually, the day of the show was actually National Root Beer Float Day. So I encouraged them to go. I can't make them. Can't make them. But I did encourage them to go get them a root beer float, because it was Root Beer Float Day. But today is August 13th. So some of you may know, and we might be celebrating you, but did you all know that today was actually National Left-Handers Day?
Yes.
So we're celebrating your left-hander. We're celebrating you today. I said I would definitely say, happy National Left-Handers Day today. And what's funny? I'll share this little tidbit. I went in because, every time you think left-handers, then you're like, okay, so most of us are right-handers. Let me see when right-handers day is. And how about there is no such thing as right-handers day. And when you Google it, it actually gives you the information for the left-handers. So the left-handers get 2 thumbs up, because they just really pushed us out of it. Even if you put in right-hander, it goes straight to left-hander. I thought that was pretty funny. But I did want to mention a few more days that are coming up before my next show, that if this is something you like, August 15th, which is 2 days from now, is National Relaxation Day.
Yay!
So I encourage you all to take that day. That is your excuse to relax and rest, because as you can see, you ladies are really working it. So take that day and relax. And August 16th is actually National Rum Day. Be careful. And August 18th is National Couples Day. So I wanted to throw a few out there, and of course we have the Kobe Bryant Remembrance Day, which is actually I think August 24th. But we'll be having another show before then. But I just wanted to throw a few things out there. And before we leave, real quick, in a few seconds, if anybody has something that happened to them this week or this month where you thought people were just tripping luncheon, You are welcome to share it, to give us all a laugh. But I know the one thing that I always think about when I think about this is this mask situation. I just said people are lunching out here. Put the mask on and sit down somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming on here. This is some great information. And I'm hoping, please continue to share this. I will say, that you can find Luncheon with Lisa on our Facebook page. We're also housed in my magazine site, which is dovestylemagazine.org. So you can see the latest show and all the other shows, and on my YouTube page. But before we leave, real quick, ladies, before we sign off, please tell everybody where they can get your information. So Cynthia, let's start with you. Where can they contact you?
You can contact me. I actually have my number right there beside my name, because I'm one of those people. You can reach out to me directly. And also I'm at thebigdreamsproject.org. Thebigdreamsproject.org. You can reach out, and you can email me at thebigdreamsproject@gmail.com.
Okay.
That's and we will dreams share with an S. Thank you.
We will share all of y'all's information on my page too, so that people can go back, so they can get in contact with you. Maria, where can they catch you?
Same here. I have the we have a Facebook page. We have a website. Just type in waldorfchessclub.org. We are there. Go like us on Facebook. If you need to email us, everything is there on our Facebook page for you to get in touch with us. Please, if you want to take a class, I'm just starting up, Lisa, just for you. It's the Waldorf Chess Club Queens.
All right.
I had so many mothers that brought their kids to play chess that didn't know how to play. I said, well, here we go. I will teach you. So Waldorf Chess Club Queens has begun. So thank you. And I look forward to maybe having a chess game with each one of you.
Wonderful. So Sharon, where can we be? I'll find you.
Yes, same thing as everyone. I'm on Facebook. I've already put my Facebook handle in the comments, so it's on there somewhere. But definitely go to my website at www.leadingwithin.org. Feel free to, purchase my book. I'm looking for someone to write a play for that book. So, Miss Moore, you want to write a play for that book, young lady. I think you're going to love it. It's perfect timing.
That's what we do.
So, and then also my Rosa is our fan page. I have the Rise fan page, and we also have the Leading Within, and I'll put that in some of the comments on Facebook after our session. But Lisa, thank you for everything you're doing. You did an excellent job. I'm so glad that Power 5 came together so strong tonight. Thank you, Mama.
Yes, it did. Alicia, tell us where we can connect with you, because we're going to see the Chocolate Cupcake Girls. We're going to see some animation someday soon.
We are going to see some animation. So we are on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Chocolate Cupcake Life. You can find our books on Amazon. Joy to the Swirl is on Amazon. We have a journal, the I Am a Chocolate Cupcake journal, where the girls can go in and track our poem and post their ideas and interests. So grab us on Amazon for sure to learn the chocolate cupcake stories, and hit us up on social media, and I will provide all of that to you to send out to your folks.
Thank you, ladies, and I'm hoping that you all connect with each other, and let's keep this ball rolling. And until next time, I will see you on Luncheon with Lisa next Thursday, and every Thursday 7 to 8 on the Luncheon with Lisa Facebook page live. See you next week.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Oh.